Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio on a Tuesday morning. So in the NBA, pretty much everyone gets to go to the playoffs. Now I feel like the playoffs have begun when the semifinals start.
Well, yeah, we're down to the final four in the NBA. These are the four who will vie for the NBA championship. The Eastern semifinal is tonight at the Boston Garden. That's the TD America, Boston Garden, whatever they call that thing now. Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. Then tomorrow night, the Western semifinal begins, and that is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas has both their winter teams into the semifinals, and that's pretty good. They've got to be loving that, and they have the baseball world champions down there. Things are going well. Anyway, first game is tonight in the East, Indiana versus Boston. During the regular season, they played 5 times. The Celtics won 3 of them. Celtics have a much better record and are a prohibitive favorite going into this.
Yeah, and they look like the team to beat, but I would have said the same thing about Denver, my man, and then Minnesota goes in there and slap them upside the head, so you never know. It's always decided on the court. We'll see what happens. I got a good buddy of mine who's a huge Celtics fan, so I guess that's the only dog I got in this fight. It's not much of a dog. OTAs for the Chiefs began this week. Rashee Rice back with the team. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, there's been no judgment in either of his 2 antisocial mishaps, so yeah, I guess he's free to do whatever the Chiefs ask him to do. There's nothing legally that says he can't practice with the team. I would think in the court of public opinion it wouldn't be very good, but it really doesn't matter, I guess, in the viewpoint of many of the hierarchies. So yeah, he is there until some kind of a NFL judgment and or judicial judgment coming from the courts in Texas is forthcoming. He's already pleaded guilty to the one and is being investigated in the other. I don't know. It's you can view it both ways. Let's put yourself in a broadcasting position now. If something like that were to happen to either of us, would we be back on the air? Probably not. But in the case of professional athletics, different story and different judgment values.
Depends on the day, and it depends on who you ask, Ned. But you know what? I think, I can't remember who the player it was last week on his podcast who kind of did a little PSA towards him, and he said, the Chiefs don't need you, buddy. And he's right. We didn't need Tyreek Hill. We really don't need anybody else. You're not better than the team. So if you don't get that stuff corrected, you won't be on the team much longer. The much-publicized young basketball phenom from Iowa discovers that, you know what? You can rule your pond, but when you get into a bigger one, it might not be as easy.
College basketball is not the same as pro basketball, and that has nothing to do with the gender at all. The women's WNBA, these are all pretty good players. Well, we're making reference here to Caitlin Clark out of Iowa, who is college basketball's all-time leading scorer. Now keep in mind now, she hasn't had much of a break, same as Jackie Stiles didn't have any of these top college players. Their season ends, then they go right into the WNBA because it is a summertime league. Okay, Caitlin Clark playing for the Indiana Fever. First of all, the Indiana Fever got the number 1 pick because they aren't very good, and they still aren't very good. Lost last night to the Connecticut Sun by a score of 88-84. The Fever is 0-3 on the season. Still young, but and they're, they have some talent, Caitlin Clark, and they have some others on the team who are pretty good, but still not great. What did she do last night? 17 points. That was it, 17. Rolled her ankle on a screenplay, had to leave for a number of minutes and maybe a good portion of the first half. Did come back and play, but certainly not effective. It's not off to a swimmingly great start for the young lady, but hey, she'll come on. She's a very good player, and once she acclimates herself to the physicality of the WNBA, the same as any rookie would in any level of competition, well, then she'll get a whole lot better. But right now, it's a struggle and probably very frustrating for her.
It is, and again, it is a proof positive that, yes, you can rule the world at the collegiate level, but once you get into pro level, man, that thing goes a lot faster, Ned. Cardinals are home against arguably one of the best teams in baseball, at least at this point, the Baltimore Orioles, and made them look like fools yesterday.
Well, going a little strong, look like fools, but the Orioles are a pretty good football team. Cardinals shut them down. Sonny Gray, who has pitched against Baltimore many, many times, knew how to handle this power attack and did shut them down. Now, the final score is 6-3. The Cardinals win it. And the offense, which has really been slumbering for the Cardinals, is powered by a guy named Mike Ciani. He's been playing in center field. And who is this guy? Is he a minor leaguer? He didn't come through here. No, that's right, because the Cardinals got him as a free agent from the Cincinnati Reds, who cut him loose latter part of last year, and now he's making it as the Cardinals center fielder. Had 4 RBIs. 4 of the 6 Cardinals runs were driven in by Ciani last night. And a good pitching performance by the Redbirds as well. Gray pitched away, allowed only 3 hits, and when you shut down the Baltimore Orioles on only 3 hits, you have done something. 6-3, Cardinals get the win, starting to hit the ball again with a bit of regularity, and that's the key. Anyway, they'll play again tonight up in St. Louis.
My Royals continue to dominate.
They are playing extremely well. Kansas City knocks off the Detroit Tigers 8-3. The Royals are only a half a game out of first place in the American League Central Division. The team they're chasing is the Cleveland Guardians, and everybody else, they're the 2 on top. Everybody else, the Minnesota Twins and the White Sox, and hey, the level of baseball, they're way behind, way behind. This looks right now as the teams approach the 1/3 pole. That's if you can make a horse racing analogy to this. Coming up, let's see, in 6 games, I think it is, games number 54 total, that will be the 3rd pole. And that's the first time you really get a chance to judge these teams. It's usually the Memorial Day holiday, and it will be this year. Anyway, Royals 8, the Tigers 3. Mike Massey went 3 for 4. Hunter Renfroe had a couple of RBIs. And Michael Wacha, former Cardinal, pitched outstanding baseball, a very strong performance on his part. How about that? The Royals right there in the challenge.
Yeah, and I love it. Like I said, a lot of fun to watch consistently. Bears are still trying to make a run in postseason glory. They've got a challenge today, though, don't they?
They have 2 games remaining because this is a double elimination tournament. It's the Missouri Valley Conference postseason tournament. 8 of the 10 teams qualify, and the Bears were number 8. They did squeeze in, and they will play this afternoon at 2:30 in Evansville, Indiana. That's where the tournament is being held this year. The Bears will play Illinois, Chicago. The Flames from the central part of the city of Chicago, they're pretty good. They have over 30 wins, and they'll be a good challenge for Missouri State. But this is an interesting situation because the records have been totally erased. You start right from the beginning now. You're 0-0. And the Bears have shown that they can hit 110 home runs this year as a team. That's pretty doggone good. It's one of the leaders in the nation. But can they pitch and play defense? There is the key. Well, we'll find out. Starts today with Illinois, Chicago. The Bears will have certainly one more game after this one, and who knows? It's a double elimination. Winning today is big. We'll find out what happens.
Ned, you have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you at the midway point of the week.